Today we have one of the complicated ones, the sticky Vietnamese style pork with sesame broccoli. Right, step one is just get everything together, which is what I've been doing with every single one of them. I've got all the stuff, I brought it together, I separated it into which of the steps that these items belong to, so therefore I didn't miss not putting something in that was supposed to be in. But we are starting with the broccoli. The broccoli is going to go into a frying pan, it says, with the toasted sesame. So yeah, we're going to do that with some water to add to this, and then that's just virtually going to steam rather than put it into water and then put the sesame oil on it. Maybe if you boil it first. I haven't got a steamer. If you've got a steamer, you could just put this in the steamer, and then when it's finished, put the oil over it and then sprinkle it, because you're going to be sprinkling it with the sesame seeds, which are these, which you do right at the end. So you're not going to see these until the whole meal's finished, and then you put them on. So that's said to be step one, about 4 minutes. The step two is the sausage, I think. Is it the sausage? Yes, it is the sausage meat. In a pan, and you cook it until it no longer looks this colour, but looks cooked. Once that's done, you'll be sticking in the garlic paste and chopping up this poor little shallot thing. Poor thing. Just the one. It's just a loss, you know, because the chances of you going to be able to find this thing when you're having your meal is remote. You know, you could do with a couple of them. So the meat and that's in another pan. So we've got 2 frying pans. This is a lot of frying pans, because you've done the shot. We are told to cut this into wedges, yet later on we are asked to use half of this. If we cut it into wedges, that's going to be a little harder to squeeze. If you just cut it, then you can squeeze it. Mostly, I don't think if you put this on the plate in a wedge or that type of shape, you're going to actually use it, because you've probably used enough of it already and you can taste it within the meal itself. So it may only be there for looks rather than adding more of it. If you wanted to add more of it, you would have just added more of it in the first place. So this comes later. After cutting the wedges and putting the shots and doing it all, you then mix up with some 200 millilitres. Well, it has 100 millilitres. Then in red it has 200 millilitres. So we'll go 100 millilitres. Because we've been looking at the lower end. We had far too much when we did one of the meals that we did, and it had far too much liquid, that when I came to do the cottage pie, I used about 50 millilitres less water, and that was much better, because then it wasn't swimming in liquid. So we have to use 100 millilitres of water. Then we are mixing in the corn flour, the red chilli relish, the fish sauce, the soya sauce, and the flakes. Yes, yes, yes. All of those into 100. Then you're going to be boiling this in with the pork until it gets thick. You see, what's make it's going to go thick is the corn flour. That's what will make it go thick. This is only 3 grams, and that means you have to watch, because we have another one of these which we'll be using in the last meal, and that's 1 tablespoon, and this is technically 1 teaspoon. All of them in that. The rice is actually the easiest, and it's already pre-cooked. It just needs to be warmed up. You have to break open the packet a little so you can let a bit of the heat out. You want to break it up and separate it so it's all loose and individual. And the hole in the bag will let it steam, and the bag will lift up and cook. It says 2 to 3 minutes. So the rice is not going to take very long at all, but it doesn't really take that long to cook rice from scratch anyway. So having it pre-done. These aren't all that expensive. I actually picked up some rice in bags like this, and it was only like 39 pence, I think, in B&M or Home Bargains, one of those. So rice. So that's what put together. The broccoli is going to be separate, the rice is going to be separate, and then the pork, which is the sausage meat, is going to be in with all the sauce next door to it. Now, there's only me having this, so I'm going to set up a plate for me now, and then I'll set up a box, so when I come back you'll see a plate and a box, hopefully, if there's enough of it, and I don't get too hungry and I just eat the whole blooming lot of it. But we have pricing for this, and we'll go and have a look for that. Then after that we'll come back and we'll see what the meal looks like and what it tastes like before we do a review much later on. Another episode to come with our last meal, which is the king prawn, which have been in the freezer, so they are fine. So far we have taken longer than the 4 to 5 days for cooking the meals. This was got last Thursday and it's now Wednesday, so we've gone a week and everything still looks fine for eating and that lot. So back with what it looks like after our review of the cost for this meal. Okay, now for the costing. We'll once again have it laid out here. This is the sticky toffee meal, sticky pork meal one. Shallots, 20 grams, which is one really, it's a very tiny shallot. And once again, 400 grams, 99 pence, value 5 pence for that little tiny shallot. 1 lime. Aldi's doing a pack of 5 for 89 pence. So using a fresh lime, if that's what you want to use, that would be 17 pence for that. We have soya sauce. There's 8 millilitres in the little pouch that we have. If you buy a bottle, it's 150 millilitres in it for 65 pence. That will give you 19 servings at this weight, so it only costs 3 pence to put the soya sauce. The sesame seeds, there's 10 grams. Tesco's, I couldn't get them and find them in Asda or Aldi, so Tesco's 200 grams, 90 pence. That is 20 servings to the weight of what's in this menu, and that's 5 pence. Garlic, the usual 1 clove. Half a garlic, the usual 4.99 pence, 6 pence worth. Broccoli, once again, this is the expensive item, £1.10. The fish sauce, 150 millilitres of fish sauce, we only need 8, is £1.75, equal to 19 servings, and that is 9 pence. The rice, 280 grams. If we're taking it, that's the full weight before cooking, then a 50 pence for a 1 kilogram bag of the standard, any rice you can get in any of the supermarkets, cheap version. That would be 15 pence worth of rice. Now we have corn flour, half a teaspoon, so you're only looking at 3 grams of it. To take off 250 gram packet, which is £1, when I got my, I paid less than that. I think I paid 60 odd pence at one of the cheap shops and got some corn flour. So 3 into 250 is such a big number, you know, that I haven't even bothered putting the price, because it's like 1 or 2p. So I haven't bothered putting that price down because it's not going to make a heap of a difference to anything. Chili flakes, half a teaspoon, 32 grams. Now don't forget, half a teaspoon, 3 grams worth. So that's equal to less than 1/10 of this at £1.10, So that is about 10 pence. Our sausage meat. Now the sausage meat is going to come out quite expensive, but once again I said it's like 3 large thick sausages. Just deskin them and you could use that and use any ones that you like, and they would probably come in a lot cheaper than what this will, because this is directly sausage meat. Tesco's 400 grams, £2.26, so £1 for the sausage meat. That makes the weight of this meal in total 620 grams, 310 grams per person. Most of it is going to be made up of the rice, the weight, so therefore that's what it is. The total cost, once again, because we have the expensive broccoli and the sausage meat, £2.80 is the total cost for this meal. And as we say, that is still fairly low. So let's see, did we have any options on this one? One sec. As you see, I don't have an assistant. So note, sausage meat, you can use any sausage. That would bring the price down if you were making it. Lime juice. Since the limes that you get, as we said, that was about 17 pence, wasn't it, for one lime? It depends on the size of the lime. You could be adding more or less. That is not a fixed amount of lime that you are putting into the dish, so therefore it could change depending on the amount of juice that is in the lime, or if you're even using the lemon as well, it's the same for that. You could buy lemon juice itself. 200 millilitres of lemon juice is 60 pence versus the fresh one, which is 17 pence. So you could use a third of a bottle of that 200, so over 65 millilitres, which is far too much, for the same price as the fresh one. And I don't think you'll be able to tell the difference. Since, as I said, since it's a blend, all the spices that we use in this, all the spices are a fraction of the jar volume. You are looking at 15 to 20 times the servings from that item. If you like most of these meals, most of them have soya sauce in, and I would state that most of the Chinese meals, when are made up, include light and dark soya sauce in them. You use 2 light to 1 dark. That is how I've seen most of the mixes of the soya, when soya sauce is used in every single meal that is done. So you could quite easily get a bottle of each. It isn't going to take much difference to a thing, and that may make a bigger taste difference than some of the other things within it. So with it, let's get back and let's see how that meal turned out. Okay, I am back, and I have a wok, and I have an electric cooker single hob thing, so I can't do 2 pans at the same time. So I did 1 pan at once. I did the broccoli, added everything you needed for that. Then I put it into the container that the second meal's in. Then I did the meat. As said, mine is not as dark as the photograph. Don't know why, but have a look. Then I need to get it eaten because I don't want it to get cold. So please like, comment, share, subscribe. I hope you enjoy watching these and seeing what we get. I still don't think there's a lot of meat in this. The meat part, it looks very small. There's about 5 tablespoons of the meat part of the dinner. So there is more of everything else, but not as much of that. I would, if you're going to make and use sausage, do 4 or 5 sausages. And I would add more onions than what there was to make it a little bit more. The rest of it seemed to go fine. There is a lot. I haven't used all the seeds. I've used probably half, because when you have a look, there's more in my plate than what's on the picture. So, here we go. Have a look, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. This is the meat. As I say, it's not as dark as what theirs is. The rice, I just cut the lemon bit like that. This is the second one. It's got the same amount of meat in that one, and about the same amount of everything. And that's the second meal. So as you take it, that's what it looks like. A lot more of the sesame seeds there on both than what's in the picture is on them. But there you go. See what it tastes like, and you'll find out in our final review.